Hello everyone, Mr. Dolphin here. Today I want to talk to you about one of the most powerful and secret weapons in the game that really no other content creator tells you about. And that is the Charge Lantern. Now before you turn off the screen and be like, hey Dolphin, that was just a lie, that was a mean weapon, it doesn't do any damage. Now first of all, you're wrong. I'm going to explain to you what the Charge Lantern is, how it does damage, and what applications it has on PvP purposes. I'm gonna give you some numbers and try to go with you in depth of why Charge Lantern is very powerful, especially nowadays on official PvP in 2022. Alright, so what is the Charge Lantern? How does it work? So the Charge Lantern is an Aberration DLC item, mostly used against Reapers and Nameless and stuff like that. However, it can also be used against medium and small dinosaurs, like Deinonychus, Thalocolios, the Stegos, Terracino's, some of the more meta PvP dinos on official servers, on PC specifically. Yes, it does not require ammo. It only requires a battery, which means the ammo is infinite. So all you need to do is just a battery. Once the battery is empty, you can recharge it. These days, you can use a Strider to recharge all your batteries, or you can use just a charge station on Aberration or Valguero, I believe. I think with the secondary attack or right-click button, you can put it on the ground. Although this is more PvE purposes than anything, does not serve any PvP purposes. You can even increase the intensity. Although I don't think that does much besides just increase the strength of the light. But that is pretty much its main functions. Now, how does that work on PvP? Well, the Charge Lantern has a very unique ability. It has the ability of it does damage based on the percentage of its target HP. So if you're attacking a dinosaur that has let's say 1k HP, you're only gonna do 1 damage per second. If you're attacking a dinosaur that has, let's say, more than meta dinos that have 200k HP, like some of the latest breed lines as of today for Stegos specifically, I think they reach a max of 200k HP, but most people don't do the max level, so they are around 160 to 180k HP, and that does, I believe, with the scaling is 4 or 5 damage per second, and I need to do a little more further testing on this. It does respect some of the armor and UT buffs, so that damage varies based on what kind of armor and what kind of buff that dino is receiving. And it, like I said, it scales with HP. So let's say, and the way I can demonstrate it is, let's say on this wild stego, right? It only has 2k HP. I'm gonna use my Charge Lantern. As you can see, I am doing 1 damage per second. Barely 1 damage per second. But the cool thing about it also, it does a stun, which will dismount the rider of a dino. So let's say I can do damage to 2 stegos here at the same time, and look at the range of my lantern. That goes pretty far. That's like, what's the 10 foundations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, around 8 to 10 foundations range. And I can just do, and I can do that damage to a structure. So let's say, I want to do a damage to a dino, and I want to hit this dino. Let's say you are defending a cave, right? And this is mostly for cave defense. I throw my gas mask or my stego, but I want to hit the dino that's hitting my tanks while I'm trying to protect the cave. You will still do damage to dinos. So you don't need to be in the front line to actually attack a target, and that what makes the Charge Lantern extremely powerful. And on top of that, I believe the stacks, so if you have more than one person using the charge lantern on target, that's even more damage, especially if the dino has a lot of HP. You're gonna be doing 3, 5, 6 damage per second. Multiply that by 2 or 3, 4, or 4 people defending a cave. And that's a ridiculous amount of damage. I think through my testing, I did 30 seconds on a 100k HP, 160k HP dino. That's like 3-4 damage, and that's around 10k damage in 30 seconds with a print charge lantern. Which also forgot to mention that a lantern does not scale with the, at least it doesn't seem to me that it scales with the quality of the blueprint. So if you use an Ascendant blueprint, a charge lantern with a primitive one, you're not gonna see much difference. I will not see much difference. Look at that range. And on top of that, I can dismount it. Okay, so for this test, I'm gonna use this stego. Ignore the level of HP. Just pay attention to the actual HP of the stego. Don't worry about the level. So it has 155k HP. I'm going to be using a primitive lantern. We're gonna clean the stego, and I'm gonna do maybe 30 seconds damage, which is very little in ARK. Alright, that should be around 30 seconds. Now it has 149k damage, so I did around, I want to say 5k, 6k damage, if I can do math correctly. So that's over 30 seconds. Now, in PvP, you're gonna be there for 2-3 minutes trying to attack a target, and you're probably gonna be using a bleeder to try to kill something that's trying to push through your defenses, if you're defending or if you're attacking. Let's say most people put a gas mask or carbon emis to block their caves. You just come in with a charge lantern, attack all of the dinos at the same time, because the charge lantern can attack multiple targets, and with their HP is pretty high, you're gonna be doing a lot of damage in a matter of 2 minutes, right? By just you by yourself, without getting hit. You can do it from a safe distance. You can do it behind your own dino. Maybe while you're riding your other stego, you attack the other target, right? So it's very situational, and I would only recommend using the charge lantern in cave PvP because you can only use against medium dinos. So what dinos does the charge lantern work on? Like I said, it works on small to medium-sized dinos. It does not work on Paracers, does not work on Reapers, does not work on Rexes or Gigas. From my testing so far, it works on Deinonychus, Stegos, Theracinos, Palicolios, Dodos, anything that's classified as a small dino and a medium-sized dino. Which is a lot of dinos that are used in the meta. Also will work on a gas pass. This classified as a medium dino. So that's a lot of dinos that you can do damage to with a charge lantern. And since the damage stacks, you can have three people doing damage to a 200k or 180k HP medium-sized dino like a gas pass or stego or Basilo, if you don't want to PP. And that is a ridiculous amount of damage you do it for free. That is the more important. That's the most important part. You're doing damage for free because you're only using a battery to do damage, and you can do damage through dinos. You can technically do damage through mesh, but you need to initially attack the target, move to a corner, and the beam will go through the mesh. But you gotta be careful with that, because if you go too far through, like you say you're in a wall and you move on the side so you're uncovered, the beam will follow you as you're doing damage, but it won't go. It will bug out and won't go too far. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.